ती जी लाईन दिसते मायनस प्लसची त्याच्या बाजूला जे बटन आहे ते क्लिक करू शकतोस.
हो मॅम, मी
हा,
करतोय पण ऍक्च्युअली झालं का आता?
नो.
नाही होत.
तुला आहे का तसं व्हिजिबल
हो,
स्लाइड शो
मला
मध्ये?
विजिबल आहे मॅम, स्लाइड शो मोड मध्ये येते.
ओके, ठीक आहे, काही हरकत नाही. हे लेफ्ट साईडचं क्लोज करू शकतोस and maybe you can click on F5, then also it will be visible. So hello everyone, how are you all doing? Good. Great.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so here my name is presented as Kanchan Bhirud, but my teachers and professor, all the batchmates, I know me as a name Kanchan Bhirud. So it was my maternal name. Okay, so we should go ahead, I guess. If it is not happening, you can move to the next slide. Yes. So today's agenda will be, we'll first understand what is software testing is all about, what it ensures. Then we'll talk in detail about software testing life cycle, that what are all phases the software goes through in the testing process, and defect life cycle. So if there is any defect, which process and which life cycle it has to go through, we'll understand it in detail. Then types of software testing. Actually, there are many types, but here we have covered a few which are very relevant to maybe all the industries come in the software industry field. Then testing scope in Salesforce. So as I told you that I am a Salesforce QA, so I would like to introduce this Salesforce technology to you, and this testing scope of Salesforce we will see. Then I would introduce you to the test automation tools which are used in Salesforce QA. And at last, we will have this Q&A session, so you can park all your questions and you can ask in the Q&A session. In between also, I would not mind if you interrupt. After every slide, I might ask you, if you want to ask any question, you can ask slide by slide as well. So let's move ahead to the next slide. Yeah, so what is software testing? First of all, I would like to encourage all of you to turn on the camera. So I'm not really used to talk to the close window. If I see people, I get more excited, and you can draw more out of me. If you want to listen more, you want to learn more, maybe it will be really great if you can turn on the camera if there is no network problem at your side, and if everything is okay. So hi Nikita, hi Pooja, hello Jayesh, Naneshwar, Sarkar. Can you turn on the camera? Okay, so I see Sanchita and Nikhil. I hope that everyone will turn on the camera in some time, maybe. So let's start. So software testing is process that is used to identify the correctness, completeness, scalability, and quality of developed software application by considering positive and negative scenarios using manual and automated means. So this is kind of theoretical definition we can say, but I would like to ask you that what do you mean by software testing, and how it is really relevant in our practical day-to-day life? Do you use any software which needs testing, and which you think that it must be tested already, and so that we can work with it, we can use it nicely? Can you give me any example of software you are using? Okay.
Our
Sanchita,
mobile
you
phone is also part of software, so we are
correct.
using it.
Yes, mobile phone is also a software. All the applications we use on our mobile, those are also a software. Then, yeah, so you know about it, right? So, mobile, before delivering it to us, we are the end users for the mobile to use, right? So, they must have tested it thoroughly. What do you think? Yes, and all the applications before delivering to us, before deploying it to the Play Store, they must have thoroughly tested it. Yes, all the banking application, all the even gaming application, all the social media application, there are many, right? Yes. So this is the practical definition of testing, that before delivering it to the end users, they make sure that it works fine. For example, which is very important for bank application, is by clicking or something, it is not just sending our money to someone else's account. Yes, it is not just losing our money, or it is not sending the OTP to someone else. Yes, all these negative scenarios need to be tested, and they must have tested it, and then only they uh, provided it to us. But do you see that in our Google test, our Google Play Store, we have the upgrade available every time for the software applications we used? Yes, so what they must have been doing in the upgrade?
They are providing us the latest versions of their apps,
Okay, in latest version, what they are trying to provide us exactly?
new features,
New
security.
features, security. Yes. So yes. So whatever are the enhancements and new features they want to provide to us, they add it to the software and then they deploy it to the original software in our mobile, so that we can download it, we can upgrade our software, and we can use and we can utilize all the new features available. Yes. So that means now we know the overall usability and the practical usage of the software testing in our day to day life. Yes, so that now we can go ahead. So there are different methodologies which can be differed in software testing. So one is black box testing and second is white box testing. So what is black box testing? Black box testing is something where they don't have to do anything about the code. They just are concerned about the input and the output we get. So whatever input, suppose there is a login page, you are entering the correct username, correct password, and you are clicking on the login. So all these username, password are the inputs, and what is the output? It is expected to navigate to the portal, that home page of any application. Yes. So this is what black box testing is. We are not really concerned about the code, whatever is written by the developer, but we are concerned about the input and output, that it is working as expected, whatever is required and whatever is shared by the stakeholder. Whereas in white box testing, what happens is it is mostly done by developers. It is concerned with the code as well. Developers do check their code. They compile their code if there is any issue in white box testing. Yes, this is the small differentiation. So let's move ahead and let's understand about the software testing life cycle. So this is the next slide, and though the picture is very small, but yes, this is really very important part and process of the testing life cycle. So what is software testing life cycle? It is a process which consists of many stages. It has to go through many stages so that all the testing of the application is completed. So it starts with the requirement analysis. So what do you understand by requirement analysis? If suppose one stakeholder, one person has to get some features done in his application, he get it listed, and that is their requirement. So now the QA has the requirement document. In the requirement analysis phase, they will go through all the requirements, they will review it. If there are any queries or any questions that they don't understand, maybe they think that it is not testable, then they connect with the stakeholders and customers, or maybe representatives of customers, and they get it clarified, so that whenever they test it, they are clear with the all the requirements. So that is all about requirement analysis. In each stage of the software testing lifecycle, which is abbreviated as STLC as well, there are some tasks assigned that these things needs to be done in this stage, and these are the deliverables of this stage. So as we already discussed, reviewing the all the requirement documents, getting it clarified from the stakeholders are the task of this requirement analysis, to check if there is any ambiguity, if there is any confusion in the requirements, get it clarified. Then preparing the query sheet maybe is the deliverable. Then comes the test planning. After requirement analysis is completed, the second phase of STLC is test planning. In this is very detailed part and critical part of STLC. What happens here is, first of all, they decide what is the testing scope of this project, how many points are really need to be tested in this particular project. So it is divided into releases, right? In first release, these are the features which needs to be delivered. After that, they will add the upgrade, the types of features or list of features will be delivered in the second release. So likewise they will do. So test planning, in test planning they will first of all decide the resources of the project, who will work on this, who will be the test manager, who will be the test lead, who will be the tester, and whole team will be decided. They will decide the estimate and efforts and cost of the testing, at which date they want to start the testing, at which date they want it to be completed. Then all the documents of test plan, that this is required, this is the scope, this is the resources, all these things are done in test planning. Then comes test case development. So what do you think test case development is? In this, test case development is the phase where QA writes the test cases of the application. For example, we just discussed about the login page. So he will write all the possible scenarios, positive scenarios as well as negative scenarios for that particular project in detail. Like first of all, he will write all the high level scenarios, that these are the scenarios I need to test, few positive, few negative, to cover whole application, all the requirements. And they will also track their requirements with the test cases, so that each and every requirement is getting tested. They are tracking it with the requirement traceability metrics. So this is some document requirement traceability metrics which we need not to share with the stakeholder or customer, but it is something which is for the our tracking purpose, QA team tracking purpose, that we are making sure that everything is getting tested and nothing is missing out. So this detailed test case can be such written in such detail that any layman who understand the simple English can also, if he reads, he can execute the test case. In that simple language it is written. For example, if that is, we have to test the login page, again we'll take the simple example so that you understand. They will literally say that click on this link, and they will give the link. Then you enter the username, enter password, click on login button. This can be the simple and very clear instruction written for the test cases. Also in this test case development, they need to make sure that what is expected out of this. if they perform this step, what is the next step it should be navigated to, user should be navigated to. For example, after clicking on login with the correct username and password, user should be navigated to the home page of that application. So it should be written in the expected result that user should be navigated to the home page of the application. So this is how now the very precise, very concise, simple, and ready to execute test cases are ready in our test case development stage. At the same time, simultaneously, when QAs are writing the test cases, this environment setup, the fourth stage, can be happening in the simultaneous fashion because QA doesn't do it. What do you understand by environment? So, environment is something, production. Yes. So suppose some app we are using, suppose Facebook we are using, Gmail we are using. So we are already using it. So there they cannot just trial and error. They cannot try it, right? So they should have something very similar to the production, which have some test data, which have the similar navigation patterns. All the things are similar. That is, we call it environment where testers can work, test or everything, and when everything is working fine, at that time they can deploy it to production. So developers and production work in the environment, which is in Salesforce we call it sandbox. So this environment setup is done, all test data is created, and we have now the replica of production. Then we move to the test execution. So we already have test cases ready, environment ready, so we are good to execute all the test cases. In test execution, QA executes all the test cases which are already written for all the requirements. Wherever he or she finds the defect which is not working as expected, as written in the requirement, what they do is they log a defect. There are different defect tracking tools available in the market. So project to project it varies, and they can decide which tool they want to use. There is Jira, Rally, HPLM, many multiple tools are available. So Jira is quite famous, so they use it for defect tracking. So defect is logged, and then developer works on it, he resolves it and close it. So we'll see it in detail about defect lifecycle in the next slide. And at the end, after the test execution, everything is done. The sixth phase of the STLC is test case closure. So what do we do in test case closure? We Test case closure means now the software is ready for the release, ready for the deployment. Now uh, now we'll have the upgrade on our Play Store for that particular application. Everything is done. Now you test it, not test it, use it. So in test case closure, we have some deliverables as well. There is a summarized report where QA team writes all the test cases, how many test cases are executed, how many defects are found, and how many are fixed, how many test cases are pass and fail, the ratio of or passing and failing the test cases. And they will discuss about the lessons learned. So in whole STLC process, of course they will have some lessons learned, right, in the process, that this can be improved. So they will discuss, they will make a document, and they will use it for the further release and further processes in STLC. So this is test case closure. It's not only about documents. It simply means is software is ready for the release. Let's move to the next slide. Okay, this is very important for the QA defect lifecycle. So overall, to maintain the quality of the software, how QA can maintain and find out the quality is very good of the software. with the defects. Wherever he or she finds a defect, he logs the defect, so that wherever UAT users are end users are testing it, the application, and they find it, he or she can show that this is already found out and it was resolved earlier. So this is kind of something QA's work, we can say, that we have this list of defects we have already identified and developers has already worked on it. So what is defect life cycle? It consists of different status of the defect, which communicates a real stage of the defect, that where the defect is right now, whether QA is working on it or developer is working on it, or where it is actually in which court it is. So in defect life cycle, we'll start with the happy flow first. Wherever QA finds any defect, the status of the defect is new. If the team is big, there are multiple QAs and they have a team lead as well, test lead as well. So the defect is assigned to test lead. So when it is assigned to test lead decides that who is the developer who was working on this particular requirement. The set of requirements called in the industry is called story. So who was working on that story, and he assigns that to the particular developer. Whereas in if there is a small team, only one or two QA are working on it, and they already know that who is the developer who was working on this requirement, they directly can assign it to the developer, and then they change the status of the defect to assigned. Then when developer has the defect in his code, he makes it the status as open, so that it shows everyone in the team that this defect is looked into, developer is looking into it, he is trying to fix it. So he reviews it. If he finds it, yes, it is a genuine defect, it needs fix, then he works on the code, that part of the code, and he fix it. As soon as he fix it, he make the status to the fixed. Once the status of the defect is fixed, after that he wants it to be tested by QA again. So that time the status of the defect is made as pending retest. That means QA has still not done the retest yet. Once QA sees that the defect has the status as pending retest, he picks it, and then he start retesting and make the status of the defect as retest. Now we are looking into the happy flow. So suppose that fix is working fine and it is working as expected, functionality looks good, then QA makes the status of defect as verified, it is working fine, and then he or she closes the defect. So this is the happy flow. So what happens if QA retests the defect and still it is not working fine for the QA? He reopened the defect. That time the defect status becomes reopened, not becomes, he make it reopen. Then again it has to go through the whole defect life cycle. It's like a new defect only. So developer has to look into it, he will make it open, then fixed and pending request retest, and it will go on until the time the defect is resolved. Okay, so you can see this four status, different status beside the open status. So what are those status? First of all, duplicate. If suppose one defect is logged with so and so details, description, this is actual result, this is expected result, everything is documented, but now the another QA is also working on that, and he or she also observe the same defect and logs the defect. So now developer looks into the system, he or she sees that yeah, we have the duplicate two defects, so one of the defect they make it duplicate, so status become duplicate. Now it no need to look into it, then the other is being looked into. Second, rejected. If developer finds that the defect is not genuine and not really, uh, maybe it might be the misunderstanding of the QA while understanding the requirement, and that's why they have logged the defect, then developer makes it rejected. If suppose and the third deferred, if suppose priority of the defect is low and stakeholders also approve that they don't want this defect to get it fixed in this release only, it can be fixed into the next release, then the developer makes the status of the defect deferred. Then if the defect is because of the test data, wrong test data tester is using, and for developer it is working and he is able to convince the QA that it is not a defect, then he explains it to QA and make the bug status as not a defect, not a bug. So all these status of the defects we have discussed, it is not necessary that all the statuses are involved into all the projects as per the project need. If they want to have long list of statuses, then they can have it. If they want to make it short, they can make it short. It is not a hard and fast rule that defect has to go through each and every stage, each and every status of this slide. So that all depend on project to project. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay. So we'll see a few of the types of software testing. As I already told you that there are many types of software testing, but we are covering few of them here. So we'll just go from bottom to top. So let's see what unit testing is. When developer develops a software, he or she also wants that whatever he has developed, it is working, right? Yes. So for that, developers also do this unit testing. They test it and make sure that everything is working fine according to them, but there is no as such documentation done for the unit testing. As soon as they make sure that everything is working fine, they hand it over to the QA and deploy it to QA environment if it is different or maybe the same environment. So QA first does smoke testing. What smoke testing is, whatever are the functionalities listed in the requirement, whatever functionality is very very important and very very basic, that it should work, all those priority one functionalities are tested in the smoke testing. Again, in the smoke testing, we don't go into very detail, and we just do high level of testing with no documentation. So in any stage, any environment, whenever we want to start detailed testing, every QA does this smoke testing. Then comes integration testing. So what is integration testing? Many times what happens is two applications are integrated together to make a system. Yes. So then integration testing works. So have you used UPI payments? Yes. Many times you see that if we transfer the UPI, the amount via UPI, there is some middleware. It goes through some Razor Pay or Amazon Pay, something like that. So there is some integration with this application together. So QA wants to make sure that this integration of application is working fine. So he wants to do all the end-to-end testing, and that's what we call it integration testing. The integration of two different application or two different modules, two different developers are working on some particular functionalities. When we make it together, club it together, then QA runs through whole process end to end. Then system testing is like, again, end to end, the system is ready, whatever is expected, it is ready thoroughly, and QA wants to make sure it is tested thoroughly. Then regression testing, which is very, very important. Regression testing is something where, suppose we discuss about that application upgrade, whenever developer wants to introduce new features or new code to the existing code, checking the existing functionalities are working fine or not, that is called regression testing. So whenever there are any enhancement, any upgrade happening, there are some particular set of test cases which are very, very important for that particular application, for that particular project to be tested. Those set of test cases are run, and under this regression testing, mostly this regression, for this regression testing, many projects, many teams use automation testing, because it is kind of a repeated testing, that repeatedly the set of test cases they want to execute whenever the new release happens, whenever the bug is fixed, whenever the defect is fixed. The developer deploys the defect fix to the system, and then the QA wants to make sure that the existing functionality which was working earlier is still working fine. So that is what we call regression testing. These all are kind of some functional testing. The customer has given us requirements and we want to make sure all the functionalities are working fine till the regression testing. There are some non-functional testing as well, which we call performance and load testing. So what is performance and load testing is, suppose one application, or we can say one website, if suppose hundreds and thousands and lakhs of people are logging into the system at a time, how does that website or application responds to that load, the multiple people signing in together? So that checking is called performance and load testing. Checking it, everyone is doing it, so that they will check that if we are increasing the load, increasing the number of users signing in together, then the loading of the page is not getting slowed down. Or maybe if suppose we take an example of Gmail or Facebook, maybe, so uploading the photos is not taking much time because of the load increase, or adding the request, or going to some friends page, or checking someone's profile is not taking time for the loading. Everything related to performance and loading is comes under this performance and load testing. Once QA ensures everything is working fine in different types of testing, then they, before deploying it to production, they wants to make sure, the team wants to make sure that the end users or maybe representative of end users are also testing the application, because they have given the requirement, they know it better, that what is the application and what they wanted, and if it is developed correctly or not. So then comes UAT, before deploying to production, that is user acceptance testing. So user himself or herself checks the application, checks random functionalities, and each and every functionality, maybe that whatever the requirements they have given, it is working fine or not, checking all the negative and positive, mostly positive, because Q has done all his job, but every positive scenario, every happy flow is working fine or not. Any minute detail or any minute mistake also they can find out, and they can also raise a bug or defect, and then again the defect goes through whole defect life cycle, and developer fixes it, resolves it, and so that everyone works fine. The software is now ready for the release after this user acceptance testing. So this is a kind of huge information, it seems. So let's move ahead. So this is all about the general testing I talked about. It depends on project to project how they want to have approach and perspective of their method their strategy, testing strategy. So Nikhil, next move ahead. Yeah. So testing scope in Salesforce. So what is Salesforce? Salesforce is a platform which started with the CRM. You know CRM, customer relationship management, right? So they started with the customer relationship management and all the functionalities, all the capabilities which are there in the CRM basics. They started giving it to companies so that companies sales and services is working fine. But then this platform is getting bigger and bigger, and they are making adding new features, and now they have multiple clouds altogether. First of all, it is a cloud platform. So what do you understand by cloud? Anyone want to share? Cloud platform, what is the difference between cloud and conventional platform, conventional way of working? Any idea? Okay, let me tell you. No worries. So generally, we earlier have this servers, data servers for the data storage and everything. So they it had multiple, I mean, multiple costing required for it, for the maintenance and all. But this cloud thing is very revolutionary, we can say, because once your data is on the cloud, you can sit anywhere and you can do your job everywhere. You can just open, you can just log in into your site with the username and password. You will have all the data which is required to work with, and that's what Salesforce provide. Salesforce is the US based company which provides the platform with which we can create the applications which are kind of low code or no code, we can say. We can just configure, drag and drop, and we can create an application whatever is your need. For example, nowadays there are 80,000 plus companies using the Salesforce platform to smoothen their sales process and to make the sales process faster, to sell better. So let's look into the different clouds which Salesforce provide and how it connects practically in our day-to-day life. So first of all, Sales Cloud. Salesforce provides Sales Cloud, which is a kind of to make the sale better of the company. Whatever products they sell, they want to have it the documented in one system, and every sales representative, also the CEO of the company, can see the opportunities which which their sales representative are working on, so that they will know that who is the prospect customer of our company. For example, suppose what we can say, suppose a company decides to give the phone to everybody in the employee. So iPhone, and Mastercard is the company who wants to give their employees iPhone. Then Mastercard would apply, would ask the iPhone company, Apple company, to provide so and so iPhones to them, so that now the selling company is Apple and the buying company is Mastercard. So for Apple, it is better to track everything, all the opportunities, all the quantity and everything into the one system in the Sales Cloud. Then comes Experience Cloud. So how we can connect with it? Experience Cloud is something like community. You use your cell phone, right? You have your different networks, Vodafone, Airtel, anything. So if you want to give any feedback or any query or any case you want to raise, you will have that Airtel community cloud, right? That site where you log in and you do all the things like you read knowledge articles there, you read FAQs, or you provide your feedback there. So that is what we call experience cloud Salesforce provide. So whatever case we have raised, whatever query we have raised, it needs to be tracked smoothly and it needs to be closed smoothly, right? For that, we have this service cloud. Then we have this Flipkart and Amazon and many e-commerce platform, right? So for that, Salesforce provide this commerce cloud. Then analytics cloud. We know this artificial intelligence, business intelligence nowadays with this, they're improvising on the choices and all. So all the things are done into the analytics cloud. And marketing cloud, we get multiple emails of any offers, whatever we have subscribed or for that. So sending that emails or messages, that is the job of this marketing cloud. We can utilize it better, and we can make the good impact on the customers or maybe on the prospect leads better, so that they will be more interested into our product and we can sell them our product. So all these features are provided by Salesforce. So how it is important for the QA to know all this Salesforce technology and all the clouds. So it is important because the navigation, the terminologies of the Salesforce, if we know it better, any application built on the Salesforce, you can test it better, right? In the team, no one has to explain you the terminologies used or whatever are the limitations of Salesforce, whatever are the features Salesforce offers. So you already know it, you can do it better. So yeah, you can really explore this more. I have given the link in the last slide, which Nikhil can share with you all, and you can sign up into that authentic Salesforce platform. They provide a platform, learning platform for the students or any employee who can just log in, sign up, and access their learning materials. And the link I have provided is called Journey to Salesforce. So it is very beautifully systematically given that it has the YouTube videos as well for the introduction of Salesforce, where it is used, how it is used, and there are total 4 sections, modules, and it has different trailheads. So small information in small packages. At the end, you will have the practice session or MCQs. So you will have that what we can say, that platform where you can just play around and you can build the app out in that platform. So that is also free. So this you can really explore, which will be helpful for your maybe resume as well, because whenever you complete your one module, you get some points after you complete your test, either MCQ or whatever is the given assignment. Then you will get the points and the badges that this module this person has completed. And it is having such a weightage that it have that you can add it into the resume, and people understand if this person has these many points, these many badges already with the Salesforce, then this person must have this knowledge. So not for the badges, not for the points, but study for the knowledge. So you will enjoy it. I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't like coding. I have decided my path of quality assurance in the start of my career itself, and I am continuing it. I am enjoying it, and I am giving my best to it. So you also find out your path, what you like. Even if you like development, you can go ahead with Salesforce. There is one language called Apex, which is similar to Java. So you can learn that in that link only. Also there, as I said, with the no code, just by configuring, you can create an application. So that is also possible. You can go into the admin faculty, And if you want to be a QA like me, then you can have the knowledge to quality assured better, ensure the quality of the Salesforce applications, which is kind of high demand in market nowadays. Okay, so that's enough for Salesforce. Let's move to the next slide. Yes. So here, I won't go into the details of these automation tools, but for your information, I have given these names of the tools which can be used for the testing. One is ASL for Salesforce. So doing Salesforce QA, you can use these tools along with your manual testing. You for the automation, for the regression testing, you can use ASLQA or Pro or Tricentis. So basically its underlying technology is Selenium, but these are something ready-made tools where you can just drag and drop the things and you can create your test scripts. So these are kind of company standard tools. There are many. You can explore more, but Prover is something like which is kind of famous nowadays, where you don't have to do much coding. You can just drag and drop, and you can create your test cases, test scripts, automatic test scripts, and you can get it done. You can just run it whenever required after every release for the regression testing. That's it for the automation tools. We can move ahead. Next slide. So this is the link I was talking about. This is journey to Salesforce link, and this is the site trailhead.salesforce.com, which I am saying that this is the authentic site from the Salesforce company itself. They provide it for the students and whoever wants to learn Salesforce more. So whatever the information it has its authentic information, and you can explore it more, you can learn more, so that you have something very interesting to add on to your resume as well, to showcase your knowledge whenever you approach for your interview in any field. Maybe if you want to go into software, I won't say go, if you want to come into the software industry, this will be really helpful. And even if not, you can still explore it for the new learning. Maybe you can create your project here, learn something new, and get excited about it. So that's it from my side. Next is Q&A side. Yes, uh, I'm open for questions now. This is the whole overview which I wanted to share.
So I request to participant, if you have any question, you can post in the chat section, or you can directly unmute. Allow the assist केलेले सगळे mic open.
Yes, question can be anything about the session or in general. Any question is welcome. Whatever I can answer,
Ma'am,
I'll.
yeah.
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. Go ahead.
As you told about ISTQB certified, right?
Yes.
So can you tell us more how to get into it, to get certified, or any courses about it for which we would be certified?
Yeah. So for ISTQB is totally about software testing. So if you are more interested into software testing, you can learn it from the ISTQB site itself. There is, you can Google it. You will get that ISTQB material. Also, if you are a member of Udemy or you have subscribed it, you will find that course ISTQB certification. For the preparation of ISTQB certification, the course on the Udemy or these learning platforms like Pluralsight, Udemy, and that will also help. And if you want to go through some training maybe or testing class in your vacation, you can join any of the testing class for the in-person training if you want. So there are some very good, what we can say, Q Spider, Mind Scripts. These are really very good coaching centers where they provide this training. But nowadays, uh, because of this corona, we learn from anywhere basically. Just like now, we are doing it online and it is working for us. That until and unless earlier we never thought of it, right? It was not there at our time, and even before corona, nobody thought that we would have so many online session. School would go online, colleges would go online. So I feel that this online also works now. So as I told you, Udemy, Pluralsight, these are the learning platforms where you can find the ISTQB courses, or even you can find the ISTQB site on the Google. You can read it and learn it yourself as well. Also, I'm Salesforce certified. I have 4 total Salesforce certification. So if you are interested in learning Salesforce as well, I am not into coding at all. Still, I have 4 certification. So one is admin, and more about Sales Cloud, Service Cloud. So these certification I have. App Builder. So you can also you prepare it from the trailhead, the link I have shared, and if you feel that you are ready for the certification, you can go ahead and book your certification. I guess Sanchita is stuck. Did you hear my voice, Sanchita?
Yes, I was noting it down there.
Sorry?
I was noting it down.
Okay. Fine. Anything else anyone wants to ask?
You can post in a chat section also. Chat section is also open.
हॅलो मॅम.
Yes. Who is speaking?
माझा क्वेश्चन आहे की कंपनी स्टार्टअप जॉईन करायला पाहिजे की एमएनसी जॉईन करायला पाहिजे?
What do you think?
स्टार्टअप, कारण मी स्टार्टअप मध्ये वर्किंग करतोय सध्या.
ओके. स्टार्टअप मध्ये वर्किंग करतोय ऑलरेडी?
म्हणजे मी सदावर्ते सरांच्या स्पेशल रिक्वेस्ट नुसार जॉईन झालेला आहे. मला
कोणत्या इयर मध्ये आहेस तू?
मी मला 3 years एक्सपिरियन्स आहे ऍज अ QA.
As a QA, you already have 3 years of experience.
Yes.
Oh, good. So, माझं मत हवंय स्टार्टअप किंवा एमएनसी बद्दल. ओके.
कोणी म्हणते की रिटायरमेंट प्लॅन असावा एमएनसी, कोणी म्हणते स्टार्टअप असावा, त्यामुळे
ओके. सो माझं पर्सनल मत असं आहे की ऍक्च्युली कोणतीही कंपनी जॉईन करा, जे पण करताय ते छान करा. तर प्रत्येक कंपनीचा आपला आपला काहीतरी ऍडव्हान्टेज आणि डिसएडव्हान्टेज असतो. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, ज्या अर्थी स्टार्टअप तुम्ही एन्जॉय करताय याचा अर्थ काय की स्टार्टअपमध्ये मोस्टली एंड टू एंड करावं लागतं सगळं. म्हणजे खूप शिकायला मिळतं, भरपूर शिकायला मिळतं, कारण की तिथे रिसोर्सेसच मुळात कमी असतात. त्यामुळे हे पण तुम्हीच करा, ते पण तुम्हीच करा. सो ओव्हरऑल एंड टू एंड वी लर्न देअर. पण एमएनसी मध्ये प्रोसेसेस डिफाईन्ड असतात. सो दोन्ही गोष्टी महत्वाच्या आहे मला असं वाटतं. मी सुरुवातीपासून एमएनसी मध्ये काम केलंय आणि माझा एक्सपिरियन्स एमएनसी मधला पण एकदम बेस्ट आहे. वेअर एज आय नो माय फ्रेंड्स हू स्टार्टेड विथ स्टार्टअप अँड नाऊ दे आर एमएनसी अँड दे आर ऑल्सो एन्जॉईंग इट. तर फरक असा असतो की स्टार्टअप मध्ये तेवढे बेनिफिट्स ते नाही देऊ शकत जेवढे एमएनसी देते. एमएनसी गेट्स यू कवर्ड, इन्शुरन्स कवर, अँड देन युअर फॅमिली गेट्स कवर, असं खूप काही बेनिफिट्स. नंतर मेनी एमएनसीज गिव्ह युअर पिक अँड ड्रॉप सर्व्हिसेस. दे इफ इट इज अ प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनी, मग तुम्हाला तिकडे सबसिडाईज जेवण मिळतं किंवा फ्री पण जेवण मिळतं. सो ऍडव्हान्टेज आणि डिसएडव्हान्टेज वेगळे वेगळे. वेअरॅज MNC मध्ये जेव्हा आपण काम करतो ते पूर्ण प्रोसेस बेस्ड असल्यामुळे एका पर्टिक्युलर जर टीम मध्ये आपण गेलो तर आपल्याला स्कोप ऑफ द वर्क लिमिटेड असतो. पण याचा अर्थ असा नाही की आपल्याला कोणी म्हणतं की दुसरं काम अजिबात करू नको. इफ यू हॅव दॅट इंटरेस्ट ऑफ लर्निंग एव्हरीवेअर तर तुम्ही कुठेही शिकू शकता. मग तुम्ही तुमचं काम सांभाळून दुसऱ्या टीम मध्ये पण हेल्प करू शकता आणि बाय हेल्पिंग देम यू आर लर्निंग, राईट. तर जर शिकणं हेच आपलं एम असेल सुरुवातीला तर आपण MNC मध्ये जॉईन करून सुद्धा वेगवेगळ्या टीममेट सोबत कनेक्ट करून वेगवेगळ्या लोकांसोबत कनेक्ट करून तुम्ही शिकू शकता. असं काही प्रॉब्लेम नाहीये. सो कोणती पण अपॉर्च्युनिटी मिळाली आपल्याला तरी मला असं वाटतं सगळ्यात मेन म्हणजे चॉईस करणं खूप गरजेचं आहे. अपॉर्च्युनिटी ग्रॅब करणं खूप गरजेचं आहे. योग्य वेळेला योग्य अपॉर्च्युनिटी जर आपण ग्रॅब केली तरच आपण पुढे जाऊ शकतो. कारण वी आर नॉट शुअर की पुढे आपल्याला ती अपॉर्च्युनिटी मिळेलच की नाही. सो माझाच एक्सपिरियन्स मी सांगते. टेक महिंद्राची जेव्हा नोटीस तिथे लागली होती गव्हर्नमेंट कॉलेजच्या त्या एका बोर्डवर, तेव्हा तिथे लिहिलं होतं की आय गेस 2 इयर्सचा तुम्हाला कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट साईन करायला लागेल आणि जर तुम्ही त्याच्या इन बिटवीन सोडलीत कंपनी तर तुम्हाला 1 लाख रुपये पे करायला लागेल कंपनीला की तुम्ही कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट तोडला म्हणून. तर आय एम जस्ट नॉट रिमेंबरिंग हिज नेम. मेकॅनिकलचे ते सर अजूनही आहेत का तिथे? आय गेस उंबर काहीतरी नाव,
उंबरकर सरच.
उंबरकर, हा उंबरकर सर. सो ते त्यावेळेस ते TNPचं सगळं बघत होते आणि ते खूप प्रयत्न ते नुकतेच COEP मधून ट्रान्सफर होऊन आले होते गव्हर्नमेंट कॉलेज जळगावला आणि त्यांनी खूप प्रयत्न केले होते. सगळ्या कंपनीला मेल केले होते कितीतरी, नंतर सगळ्या कॉलेजेसला कम्युनिकेट करणे आणि त्यांच्याकडून अप्रुव्हल घेणे की आमच्या स्टुडंट्सला येऊ देत, असं सगळं तेच बघत होते. आणि त्या मेकॅनिकल डिपार्टमेंटच्या तिथेच ती नोटीस लागली होती टेक महिंद्राची आणि आय वॉज लाईक की अरे हे 1 लाख रुपये तर नाही आहेत, नेमकं जॉबच तर पैशासाठी हवाय ना. ते 1 लाख रुपये जर आधीच असले असते तर मग जॉब कशाला करायचा, असं काइंड ऑफ माझं थॉट प्रोसेस होती त्यावेळेला. सो मी बघत होते आणि मी डिसाईड करत होते मनातल्या मनात की आय गेस दिस इज नॉट फॉर मी आणि दिस इज नॉट माय कप ऑफ टी. मी काही ह्या टेक महिंद्राच्या इंटरव्ह्यूला जाणार नाही. इन केस जर सिलेक्ट झाले तर मला असं अंडरस्टँडिंग होतं की मला आधी 1 लाख भरायचे आणि मग जॉईन करायची आहे. सो तो मिसअंडरस्टँडिंग होतं ते. वेअरॅज सर आले आणि सरांनी मला समजावलं की काय विचार करते, जाणार आहेस ना तू इंटरव्ह्यूला, आणि आय गेस नेक्स्ट डेच इंटरव्ह्यू वगैरे सगळं होतं स्केड्यूल. तर मी म्हटलं नाही सर, मी नाही जाणार आहे कारण इथे लिहिलंय की 1 लाख रुपये भरायचे जे की माझ्याकडे नाही आहेत. सो ही सेड की अरे असं मुळात तर असं नसेलच की कुठली MNC अशी 1 लाख मागते आणि जॉईन करून घेते, पण अगदीच इन केस, इन वर्स्ट केस असं असलं सुद्धा तरी पण वेन यू हॅव दॅट ऑफर लेटर इन युअर हँड, कुठलीही बँक तुला 1 लाख रुपये लोन सहज देईल. त्यामुळे जस्ट डोंट मिस दिस अपॉर्च्युनिटी. आणि त्यावेळेस मी E&TCची TNPची लीड मीच होते. सो आय वॉज कम्युनिकेटिंग एव्हरीथिंग टू ऑल माय बॅचमेट्स की आपल्याला जायचं ह्या कंपनीसाठी त्या कंपनीसाठी अँड ऑल. आणि मी स्वतःच रेडी नव्हते ह्या टेक महिंद्राच्या इंटरव्ह्यूसाठी जायला, विच वॉज द लास्ट अपॉर्च्युनिटी फॉर मी. तर सरांनी समजवल्यानंतर मी म्हटलं येस, लेट्स गिव्ह इट अ ट्राय. आणि पूर्ण प्रिपरेशनने गेले, ऍप्टिट्यूड क्लिअर केली, नंतर आपलं जे काही टेक्निकल डिस्कशन होतं, नंतर HR डिस्कशन, एव्हरीथिंग सगळं छान झालं आणि सिलेक्शन पण झालं. लकीली तसं काहीच नव्हतं, 1 लाख रुपये द्यायचे नव्हते आणि कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट मोडायचा तर काही प्रश्नच नव्हता. मुळात मला जॉब करायचं होतं हे माझं पूर्ण ठरलेलं होतं मनामध्ये की मला जॉब करायचा आहे, काही झालं तरी. माझं जे नॉलेज आहे, आपण जे शिकलोय त्याचं युटिलायझेशन झालंच पाहिजे. आणि ऑफकोर्स जेव्हा आपण इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये जातो तेव्हा अजून शिकतो, त्यामुळे मला जॉब करायचं हे ठरलेलं होतं. सो मला असं वाटतं की तेव्हा जर त्या क्षणाला उंबरकर सरांनी मला गाईड केलं नसतं आणि ते गायडन्स मी पॉझिटिव्हली घेऊन जर ती अपॉर्च्युनिटी ग्रॅब केली नसती तर कदाचित मी आता जिथे आहे तिथे असले नसते. सो आय एम रिअली ग्रेटफुल फॉर द करेक्ट गायडन्स ॲट करेक्ट टाइम. तर त्या राईट टाइमला राईट अपॉर्च्युनिटी ग्रॅब करणं खूप गरजेचं असतं. सो प्रणव, डज दॅट आन्सर युअर क्वेश्चन?
सॉरी, हा येस सॅटिस्फाईड. बट माझा प्रेफरन्स हा स्टार्टअपला असेल असं वाटतं मला.
नो वरीज, मी तेच म्हटलं की प्रेफरन्स आणि प्रायोरिटी ह्या प्रत्येकाने आपल्या आपल्या ठरवायच्या असतात. कारण की प्रत्येकाची लाईफ आणि प्रत्येक जणच युनिक आहे. त्याच्यामुळे तुम्हाला तुमच्या स्किल्स कशा युटिलाइज करायच्या आहे आणि कुठे युटिलाइज करायच्या आहे हे टोटली तुमची चॉईस असली पाहिजे. नोबडी शुड बी इंटरफेअरिंग इन टू दॅट. जर तुम्ही हॅपी आहात तिथे तर वाय नॉट, राईट? If you are getting good compensation, good experience, good learning, why not? What do you need other than this, right?
Good package.
Compensation.
सॅलरी इज इम्पॉर्टंट.
Yes.
हा नाही, कारण एमएनसी मध्ये अप्रेझल मिळत नाही म्हणतो ना.
Oh, that's the wrong thing. You choose the correct MNC, you will get the correct package.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Anything else?
Yes, ma'am. One more question from YouTube section, ma'am. Please elaborate the current industry condition. How we should prepare ourselves before joining the company.
Okay. So I would like to ask that particular person की एक्झॅक्टली काय जाणून घ्यायचंय. पण जितकं मला कळलं त्याच्यातून सांगते. करंट इंडस्ट्री कंडिशन, जर ह्याच्यामध्ये कुठेही आत्ता सध्या जे ले ऑफ वगैरे झालेत त्याच्याबद्दल बोलायचं असेल तर मी सांगेन की येस, सध्या मार्केट डाऊन आहे आणि येस, ले ऑफ सुद्धा झालेत बऱ्याच कंपनीमध्ये. पण आपल्याला जॉईन करायचंय आणि त्याच्याच रिसेशन वगैरे बद्दल जर बोलायचं असेल की काइंड ऑफ थोडं रिसेशन, थोडं मार्केट डाऊन हे सगळं आहे. पण व्हेन यू हॅव युअर स्किल्स इन युअर हँड आणि तुम्हाला तुमचं पूर्ण कॉन्फिडन्स आहे की तुम्ही ते छान करू शकता, तुम्ही समोरच्याला पटवून देऊ शकताय की तुमच्याकडे जे स्किल्स आहे तुम्ही छानपैकी युटिलाइज कराल आणि जर ते झालं तर ऑफकोर्स यू कॅन गेट युअर ऑफर इन युअर हँड आणि तुम्ही कुठेही सक्सेसफुल होऊ शकता. हे माझं मत आहे. सो रिसेशन चा थोडा इफेक्ट असतो मार्केटवर, ओव्हरऑल ओपनिंग्सवर. पण ज्या ओपनिंग्स आहेत त्या ओपनिंगसाठी आपण अप्लाय करून, आपण आपले हार्डवर्क करून, आपण आपले 100% दिले तर आपण नक्कीच चांगला जॉब मिळवू शकतो. अँड जस्ट लाईक यू से इन युअर what do you say, that poster, not settle on average, what is that? I just don't settle for average, right? So go for the best every time, that I would say. Go for the right offer, go for the right company interview, don't settle.
And one more question, ma'am. How to get a placement in tier 3 college?
In
tier 3 college.
Tier 3 college. What is that? म्हणजे थर्ड इयर मध्येच प्लेसमेंट कसं मिळवायचं?
नाही मॅम, आय थिंक टियर 3 लिहिलेलं आहे कॉलेज लेवल.
माइट बी तेच क्वेश्चन असेल मॅम.
ओके. नाही म्हणजे कुठला प्रश्न असेल मला नाही कळत हे काय. म्हणजे त्यांना प्रोफेसर वगैरे होण्यात इंटरेस्ट आहे का? मला असं वाटतंय की जर प्लेसमेंट इन द कॉलेज, तर कॉलेजमध्ये तर टीचर्स प्रोफेसर असतात, तर मग ते बनायचं का?
नाही मॅम, म्हणजे ऍक्च्युअली टियर 3 कॉलेज असेल तर प्लेसमेंट कसं घेता येईल असं त्यांनी लिहिताना थोडं.
राहिली सेइंग की टियर 3 मीन्स ॲव्हरेज कॉलेज.
येस.
ओके. Okay, I would share one story here. So after 12th मला अजिबात जळगावमध्ये राहून, म्हणजे आय एम बेसिकली फ्रॉम भुसावल, सो इट वॉज रिअली व्हेरी कन्व्हिनियंट फॉर मी अँड माय फॅमिली to get me this admission into the Government College of Engineering with less fees and less distance from the home. So हे खूप कन्व्हिनियंट होतं. पण मला जळगावमध्ये अजिबात राहायचं नव्हतं. कारण हे जे प्रश्न आलाय ना त्याच्यामध्ये जे म्हणणं आहे की ऍव्हरेज कॉलेजमधून किंवा म्हणजे मे बी असं वाटतं ना की NMU युनिव्हर्सिटीमध्ये मग प्लेसमेंट मिळेल की नाही. सो दॅट वॉज माय कन्सर्न ॲज वेल. तर मला 12th माझे टीचर खूप छान भेटले. केमिस्ट्रीचे टीचर होते माझे. राजू फालक सर म्हणून त्यांचं नाव होतं. आणि त्यांनी मला त्यांना मी सांगत होते की मला माझ्या घरचे बोलतायत की जळगाव सोडून फार दूर काही जायचं नाहीये, सध्या ते परवडणार पण नाही, आणि जर गव्हर्नमेंट कॉलेजला नंबर लागतोय तर वाय यू वॉन्ट टू गो फॉर एनी प्रायव्हेट कॉलेज पुण्यामध्ये वगैरे. तर मग मी म्हणत होते की नाही मला तर जायचंच आहे, आणि मुळात मला E&TC करायचं नाहीये असं म्हणत होते. मला सॉफ्टवेअर इंजिनियरच व्हायचंय, आणि मला कुठेतरी मग जिथे, आणि माझ्या बॅचच्या वेळेस नेमकं फर्स्ट राऊंडलाच फक्त 3 ब्रांचेस अवेलेबल होत्या आपल्या कॉलेजमध्ये, E&TC, मेकॅनिकल अँड इन्स्ट्रुमेंटेशन. सो यू वोंट बिलीव्ह, माझ्या ऑप्शन फॉर्मवर म्हणजे मी चक्क काइंड ऑफ जुगार खेळले होते माझ्या इंजिनिअरिंग ऍडमिशन सोबत. पहिल्या राऊंडला पहिलं आणि शेवटचं ऑप्शन होतं गव्हर्नमेंट कॉलेज ऑफ इंजिनिअरिंग जळगाव E&TC. दॅट्स इट. म्हणजे लागला तर लागला, नाहीतर काय होणार होतं आय डोंट नो. पण लकीली बाय गॉड ग्रेस आय गॉट द ऍडमिशन. आणि मग त्याच्या सेकंड राऊंडला आपल्याकडे इलेक्ट्रिकल आणि कम्प्युटर इंजिनिअरिंग इंट्रोड्यूस झालं, आणि आमच्याच बॅच पासून म्हणजे 2007च्या ऍडमिशन्स पासून ह्या 2 ब्रांचेस आपल्याकडे सुरू झाल्या. सो माझा प्रश्न माझ्या टीचरला तोच होता की इथे प्लेसमेंट मिळेल की नाही माहित नाही मला, आणि कसं होईल काय होईल. पण सरांनी एक वाक्य स्पष्ट सांगितलं की हिरा कुठेही ठेवला, अगदी कोळशात जरी ठेवला तरी तो चमकतो आणि तो ओळखून येतो. कुठलीही चाळणी वापरली तर तो वरच राहतो. त्यामुळे इट रिअली डझंट मॅटर की तुम्ही कुठून शिकताय आणि कोणत्या कॉलेजमधून शिकताय किंवा कोणत्या युनिव्हर्सिटीमधून शिकताय. व्हॉट रिअली मॅटर्स इज तुम्ही किती तुमचं हार्डवर्क करताय, तुम्ही किती स्वतःला रिप्रेझेंटेबल ठेवताय, किती तयार ठेवताय जॉबच्या इंटरव्ह्यूसाठी, आणि लोकांनी तुम्हाला खरोखर सिलेक्ट करावं याच्यासाठी. व्हॉट डू यू रिअली वर्क ऑन इट. तुम्ही तुमची काय प्रिपरेशन करताय हे खरंच खूप मॅटर करतं. तर 12thचं त्या सरांचं गायडन्स मला कामी आलं, आणि मी खूप पॉझिटिव्हली गव्हर्नमेंट कॉलेज जॉईन केलं. ऑफकोर्स नाव गव्हर्नमेंट कॉलेज इज नाव ऑटोनॉमस, आणि खरं सांगायचं तर गव्हर्नमेंट कॉलेजमध्ये थोडे लेस रिसोर्सेस होते. आता आय डोंट नो द कंडिशन, पण त्यावेळेस जरा प्रोफेसर कमी, लॅब्सचं सगळं सेटअप नवीनच होतं सगळं. ते सगळं असून सुद्धा रिअली माझी डिग्री ही गव्हर्नमेंट कॉलेजची आहे पाहून जो काही रिस्पेक्ट आणि जो काही मान सन्मान मला बाकीच्यांकडून मिळाला तो खूप वेगळ्या लेवलचा होता. आणि तेव्हा मला सुरुवातीपासून तसंही खूप ग्रॅटिट्यूड फील होतं की ज्या कॉलेजने मला इंजिनिअरिंग डिग्री दिली, ज्या डिग्रीमुळे मला जॉब लागू शकला, तर व्हॉट एव्हर इट वॉज, जे पण काही होतं, जेवढं पण अवेलेबल होतं त्याच्यातही ते खूप छान झालं, आणि फायनली आय कुड गेट द ऑफर. वेअर ॲज टॉपर्स, सगळ्या टॉपर्सला नव्हती मिळाली ऑफर. सो they were doing good in their academics, everything was good, but what I felt was they were not ready for the industry. त्यांचा माइंडसेटच मुळात तो नव्हता की त्यांना असं काहीतरी करून दाखवायचंय, जॉईन करायची कंपनी, आपलं कर्तृत्व सिद्ध करायचंय वगैरे, असं काही नव्हतं. मग मे बी ते आपलं प्रिपरेशन मध्ये आपण कमी नको पडायला. सो व्हॉट इज इन आवर हँड्स वी कॅन कंट्रोल दॅट. So what is in our hands? Good study, good सॉफ्ट स्किल डेव्हलपमेंट, पर्सनॅलिटी डेव्हलपमेंटसाठी जे पण काय करू शकता, इंटरव्ह्यू प्रिपरेशनसाठी जे काय करू शकता, क्वांटिटेटिव्ह अँड क्वालिटेटिव्ह अनालिसिस, त्याच्याबद्दल सगळं प्रिपरेशन. यू कॅन इम्प्रूव्ह युअर इंग्लिश कम्युनिकेशन अँड व्हॉट एल्स. कारण की टेक महिंद्रा मधलं जे ऍप्टिट्यूड होतं ते सेक्शन्स वाईज पासिंग रिक्वायर्ड होतं त्याच्यामध्ये. 150 क्वेश्चन्स, 150 मार्क्स आणि 1.5 तास असं काहीतरी होतं. आणि प्रत्येक सेक्शनमध्ये जर तुम्ही पास झाल तरच तुम्ही त्या ऍप्टिट्यूड मध्ये पास. So they allowed for almost different universities as well. So 800 people appeared for that aptitude and only 150 लोक पास करू शकले होते ते ऍप्टिट्यूड. आणि मग अगेन फ्रॉम दॅट 150 टेक्निकल राऊंड काहीतरी 70 लोकांनी क्लिअर केला होता आणि त्या 70 मध्ये HR बहुतेक फक्त 65 लोकांनी. सो द टोटल नंबर ऑफ candidates appearing for the interview was 800 and the selected candidates were 65. It's a huge difference, right? So that preparation is needed, the mindset is needed. Focus on what you want to really do with your life and work accordingly. Anything else? I guess we are almost having just 2 minutes now for the session to end. So any last question?
I think no query. Check. संचिता क्युरीज आहेत का बघ चॅट.
नाहीये क्वेरीज एकही.
Okay. So anyways, we are on time.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir,
I would like to express my gratitude to each and everyone who gave me this opportunity to speak and share my experience and my expertise in software testing. I hope the session is useful for your the session is useful for your growth and you can decide what you really want to do out of this. So take advantage of all the sessions from all the alumni because they are all from different backgrounds. They are working in different industries. They will have their different experiences. So this is really great initiative, Sadavarte sir. की या लोकांना सगळ्या अल्युमनीज बद्दल सोबत बोलता येतंय, त्यांची जर्नी ऐकता येते, जेणेकरून वेन दे आर रेडी फॉर देअर जॉब्स तेव्हा त्यांना पक्क क्लिअर असेल माइंडमध्ये की एक्झॅक्टली व्हॉट यू वॉन्ट टू डू इन युअर लाईफ, इन विच फील्ड यू वॉन्ट टू ग्रो. कारण अपॉर्च्युनिटीज भरपूर आहेत मार्केटमध्ये. सो डोंट बी स्केर्ड ॲट ऑल. यू जस्ट हॅव युअर स्किल्स इन युअर हँड. व्यवस्थित सगळे स्किल्स एकत्र करून ठेवा. अकॅडमिक्समध्ये चांगलं करा. सगळे कन्सेप्ट क्लिअर करा. आपल्या जे जे काही तुम्ही शिकताय त्याच्यामध्ये ज्या पण ब्रांचचे तुम्ही असाल तर ते छान केल्यानंतर जसं मी म्हटलं सॉफ्ट स्किल्सवर भर द्या. ते खूप नेसेसरी आहे फॉर द इंटरव्ह्यू क्लिअरिंग अँड ऑल. सो जस्ट फोकस ऑन वॉट एव्हर रिक्वायर्ड अँड एव्हरीथिंग विल बी गुड फॉर यू. So all the very best for your future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Sir, out of things you sir.
You can share your feedback with Nikhil as
Yes.
well about this session.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
You can Nikhil, you can share me the feedbacks on the email.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
How do they
Nikhil,
like it?
Please share the link that ma'am has given in PPT presentation.
Yes, sure.
Yes,
I will share
for all attendees.
whole PPT with you. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for today's your guidance. You tell what is a software and what is the life cycle for software testing and all of this. Thank you so much, ma'am. And thanks to head of the department, Dr. S.P. Mohani sir. Thanks to our faculty coordinator, M.S. Sadavarte sir. Thanks to all the supporting faculties in E&TC department. And thanks to all e-TESA committee members, newly members. And thanks to Nishant. Thanks everyone. Thank you all of you. Thanks all participants for joining this session. Question?
Thank you all.
Ma'am, just wait one more question from the YouTube section.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
मॅम ॲक्च्युअली जॉबची वॅकन्सी कुठे कुठे असते म्हणजे सॉफ्टवेअर टेस्टिंगच्या फील्डमध्ये व्हॉट आर द वॅकन्सीज?
So you can get all this information on the Naukri.com and the multiple sites like Naukri.com. And you, first of all, create your account on the LinkedIn. Provide proper introduction of yourself. म्हणजे मग लोक तुम्हाला अप्रोच करू शकतात की व्हॉट एक्सपर्टीज यू हॅव, व्हॉट स्किल्स यू आर इंटरेस्टेड इन, व्हॉट स्किल्स यू हॅव बिल्ट युअर सेल्फ. सो असे वेगळे वेगळे जे आपले व्हॉट यू कॅन से दिस सोशल प्लॅटफॉर्म्स आहेत जिथे आपल्याला जॉब वॅकन्सीज कळतात, तिथून आपण तिथे जरा मोर अवेअरनेसनी बघत राहायला पाहिजे की कुठे काय आवश्यकता आहे आणि कुठे फ्रेशर्ससाठी आहे. सो Wipro also provides a very good opportunity for all the students to join in, even BSc, so keep looking into the Wipro site. Directly company site पण तुम्ही बघू शकता ज्या ज्या आपल्या आहेत फेमस कंपनीज. सो अँड यू ट्राय फॉर द इंटर्नशिप wherever available. जर एक्सपिरियन्स सोबत जाणार तर जास्त फायदा होईल. जर कुठे ऍक्च्युअल मध्ये इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये काम करायचा चान्स मिळाला तर इन युअर वॅकेशन, even in the small scale, even in the startup, if you can just work in the industry for a few months and you have that experience, it will really help your resume as well as to get into the industry.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
ओके मॅम, थँक्यू.
Thank
सर,
you.
आपली परमिशन असेल तर मीटिंग एंड करतो. हॅलो.
आय गेस सरांचं नेटवर्क वगैरे
येस येस, आय
असू
थिंक
शकतं.
येस.
So, yes, thank you so much again, Sadavarte sir, for approaching me and giving me opportunity. If any time you want, we can have the another session, especially on the soft skill or especially on the Salesforce altogether to explore
Definitely, ma'am.
more on it, whatever you feel like. Okay, so see you
Okay,
sometime
thank you.
soon.
Bye bye.
Bye.